Hello everyone, welcome back to Ayumilove channel for another Awaken Chaos Era guide. Today's video I'll be showcasing my newest team for Queen of Tides Stage 12 that I have further improved to speed up the run. So if you haven't seen my previous Queen of Tides team, you can check them out. I'll post the links inside the video description so you can take a look because it requires some foundation to be built up starting from there. So previously I showcased heroes that you can use, like 3 elite heroes such as Rogue, Balu, Charles, and Hakrin, which took some time. Then I further improved it from there using Balu, Rodira, Zatlux, and Santis. And this time I make the run even faster and much more consistent using slightly with some slight twists in it. And I'll provide some alternative if you do not have some of these champions, but they will be quite accessible through the normal summoning shots. So let me show you the team. So in this team, I have Zatlux as the main damage dealer to clear the first two waves quickly. Second hero I have here will be Hulens. His main goal is to apply the unhealable, prevent the minion from healing the boss, as well as applying the no positive effects so that the boss cannot generate shield on herself, which makes the run even faster. And the third hero will be Santis. She's here to poison the boss, since poison deal much more damage compared to using direct damage. And finally, we have the fourth hero in the team, Hakrin. He's here to boost up everyone's max health so that they can stay longer in the battle. And for the spells, I'm using Gaia's Renewal for AoE healing since I do not have any dedicated healer here. And Water Prison as usual to remove the buff, which is uh, self-buff by the boss herself. So that's it. And the main target priority will be just hitting the boss. So for this team setup, I have the boss battle attack sequence as to target the boss instead of the left and right elites. Okay. So at the start of the battle, I speed tune Santis and Hakrin to go after Zatlux. So Zatlux will be the last team to go, so Zatlux can perform the finishing blow. The reason why I did this is to provide some time for Hakrin to use his ultimate ability, the increased max up health buff. So once he reaches on the boss wave, he can reapply again. So all of these heroes in my team will have 30% additional max health to tank the damage from the AoE attacks from the joint attack of the Tideguards. Alright, so Santis come in. So in this battle, right, I have disabled both Hulens and Santis ability so that Hulens will consistently apply his unhealable through his basic attack, while Santis is able to apply his her poison debuff consistently, two poison debuff for every round. Right, so currently now all of my heroes have 2 max up health buff with a 30% max health, and after a few more rounds, then Hakrin will provide another additional 50% max health up. So as you notice that there's one important note to take note of is I have speed tuned Hulens to be I paused the game first. As you notice below here, Hulens is positioned in between the boss and the tight guards. The boss health is the boss speed is 145 speed, while my Hulens is around about 144 speed. And the tight guards here is I think about 135 speed since my Zatlux is only 130 speed. The reason why I position the speed for Hulens at 144 speed is because his basic ability, which is the healing block, applies the unhealable for 2 turns. And this application is only 80% success rate. So if Hulens goes after the boss, then to apply the unhealable for 2 turns. Then the boss takes a turn, it'll be 1 turn left. And when the next round comes, and Hulens wasn't able to apply this unhealable, the unhealable buff on the boss will disappear, and the right Tideguard will be able to heal the boss. So this is to make the run much more consistent. Alright, so Hulens apply his unhealable and no positive effect again. Hulens is quite good here because his no positive effect will prevent the boss from applying the shield buff. Because the shield buff will slow, will try to take some damage out of the poison debuff from hitting her health. So, so the common pattern from this Tideguard is after the left Tideguard applies the joint attack buff, the next round is the right Tideguard will heal the boss. So around round 8, plus with the joint attack, Zatlux will go down here. And this time, the boss will apply the water prison on Hakrin. Because Hakrin, I have set him up to be the second highest attack stats in the team. This is to prevent the boss from locking down Santis, to prevent her from applying the poison debuff on her. So this is another important note here. And all 3 heroes here, Hakrin, Santis, and Hulens, are in Revival set. Because there is no dedicated healer here, Revival set is a must to keep them in top shape. And in order to farm Revival set, you'll need to use back the teams that I have introduced in my YouTube channel. The elite heroes and those Rodiras, those basic team, before you can even reach to this team composition. So that's the battle. The battle took around about 5 minutes because I paused the battle and have the speed to 1x. So let me show you the team again in 2x speed without any pause. Alright. Let's see how fast this team can go without any pause here. If your Zatlux is not strong enough, your 3 heroes attacking one hero here will be useful to enable Zatlux to perform the first kill, then he can generate the attack up buff on himself through his trait ability. And as usual, you need to have Hakrin to go before your Zatlux perform the finishing kill. So once he reaches the boss here, he can apply the second Chris Max HP up. Alright. So let's perform his Fist of Carnage again, ultimate ability, followed by Santis. Alright, that's the joint attack. So what makes this stage challenging is from the joint attacks, which can quickly reduce the health of your heroes. If your heroes are not tanky enough, do not have more than 15,000 health, it will be quite difficult to survive against all this joint attack when you don't have any dedicated healer here. And if your Zatlux is tanky enough, he can survive until round 8 to perform his second Fist of Carnage on the boss to drop her health below 50%. Alright, usually round 8, Zatlux will go down. Then the remaining heroes will be Hakrin, Santis, and Hulens. And your Hulens must be built very, very tanky with a lot of health and some defense so he can survive the joint attacks. So now the boss has around about 18% health left. Each poison debuff will reduce her health by 3%. So the boss has around about 5% health. With 2 poison debuff, the boss will go down. And yep, gone. So that's how the team works. So let me show you how I built each heroes uh, with their total stats and also the gears. So for this run, without any pause, it takes around about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The fastest will be around about 2 minutes and 37 seconds. So this is the first hero in the team, Santis. She is the main poisoner for this team composition. And here are her total stats. The stats that you would like to prioritize would be health and defense to make her tanky as possible in the Queen of Tides stage 12. And the next stat that you need to prioritize would be focus. Get at least about 70% focus and above so she can consistently apply her poison debuff. And last but not least, have sufficient speed so she can go first to apply the poison. Okay, so these are her gears. Basically, I gear her in Terra set and Revival set. Terra set for additional 50% health, Revival set for the restore health every turn she takes. So basically, as for the boots, I get health boots, health ring, and defense necklace. These are just like 5 stars. The glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. The next hero on the team is Hakrin. Here are his total stats. The stats that you would like to prioritize on him is health and defense. The more defense, the better. But I have tuned his stats so that his attack stats is slightly higher than Santis, so that the boss will apply the water prison on him instead of Santis. So this is an important note that you need to pay attention to. Then for the speed, he must be faster than Zatlux so he can apply his ultimate ability to increase the max health on the first wave and on the boss wave. So everyone will have about 30% health when they're fighting against the boss. Then the rest will be like focus and resistance. I have some resistance here for arena, and focus is for those PvE content to taunt the enemies like Void Tower and those things. So these are his gears. He's in Revival set and Terra set, similar to how I built Santis. And he's equipped in speed boots because I do not have any other better boots here. Defense ring and a health necklace. I will replace them once I get a better gears from Roaring Topa for the Terra sets and better Revival sets from Queen of Tides. The glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. The third hero on the team will be Zatlux. Here are his total stats. He has about 4000 attack plus, 130 speed, 30% critical rate, and over 200% critical damage. In order to perform the kill without any assistance from your heroes, I would recommend to have at least 4000 attack and around about 250 or 220 critical damage. You do not need to achieve more than 70% critical rate since he has a passive skill here, Assassin Training, that provides an additional critical rate, which is not calculated in his total stats here. So you need to make a mental note of this. And about around 11,000 health, so he can survive the boss attack and the joint attack up to round 8. So he can perform two Fists of Carnage ultimate ability to knock down the boss health even further. And these are his gears. It's basically some mixed set with some warrior set. So it's basically attack boots, critical damage ring, and attack necklace. The glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. And finally, we have the fourth hero in the team, which is Hulens. Here are his total stats. I have 15,000 health, close to 1,300 defense, 144 speed, and a bunch of focus. Actually, you do not need a lot of focus, but I was kind of lucky for my gearing that I have a lot of focus here. But the most important stat to focus on him would be health and defense because his base stats of health and defense is pretty low. So I would recommend you to get a lot of health and defense rather than focus. Focus you can just get around about 70% will be sufficient. And another thing that you need to take note of is the speed. His speed must be between 136 and 144. Cannot be more than like 145 because if his speed is speed above the boss, his unhealable will be only lasting for one turn for one round. If he misses the chance of applying on the second round. Okay. And also his attack stats must be lower than Hakrin so that the boss will not target him. And these are his gears, basically it's the same, Terra set and Revival set. There's some basic stats here like Terra health boots, Revival health ring, and Terra chain focus. So I will recommend to get health as the main stat with some focus here, focus and defense stats. But these are my best gears in my account for this setup. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. You can I will recommend you to build Hulens because he's quite useful in Void Tower Heart, Bounty Hunt, and Endless Trial for certain enemies that users that relies heavily on positive effects to defend themselves. Alternatively, if you do not have good gears, the second hero I would recommend you to use would be Rujago. This guy. This guy is good. Although he's slow, although with him in the team composition is much slower, around about 30 seconds slower, but the run is very very consistent because he applies this what's it called? He has a unique trait, demonic tenacity. So whenever he's being attacked, this character will apply a 100% chance to apply this attack down for 2 turns when he's fully when he's ascended. He need to reach Ascension 2 to gain this 100% chance of inflicting this debuff. Previously, I was using Rujago before Hulens because I do not have good gears, and after I managed to upgrade the gear to be quite good, then I moved the gear from Rujago to Hulens. So let me show you how Rujago works using Hulens gear. So I have this Revival and Terra. Let me unequip from Hulens and gear Rujago instead. His speed is much lower than Hulens, which is 107 speed, but it doesn't matter because he does not have the what the limitation of Hulens because his unhealable is applied 100% chance of applying it. So it doesn't matter which turn he takes, either after the boss or before the boss. So let me show him in action with this new team. So this time I'll replace Hulens with Rujago. Okay, this guy. So let's see them in action. So it's important to have Hakrin and Santis to go first to deal some damage so that Zatlux can perform the finishing blow and gain the attack up buff. You do not need to disable Rujago's ability because I want him to apply his ultimate ability to inflict the unhealable and attack down buff on the boss. Alright, so the boss applied the air attack. So as you notice, every time the enemy attack, they will gain this attack down buff, so the next attack on the next round, they will deal lesser damage. Right, there's a lot of joint attacks here, and the right target tried to heal the boss, but he wasn't able to do so because of this unhealable debuff. This run is much more consistent compared to Hulens because there's no RNG with the unhealable. It will be always applied, and it will prevent the boss from receiving 30% increase of health. But the run will be slow a bit because the boss gain a self shield buff around about that protects 10% of her health. Okay, we are now in round 8. I think Zatlux will die here. No, still managed to survive. Yeah, I think. Yep, so with the attack down, Zatlux manages to survive, but being locked down by the boss water prison again. The boss has around about 27% health, and each of these poison debuff will reduce her health by 3%. And there's no way the enemies can kill Rujago, Hakrin, and Santis because of this attack down buff. Right, we are now round 11. One percent health, I believe. Okay, we completed it. So let's see how fast does this battle goes. So this time it takes around about 3 minutes, and the shortest time will be 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And another hero that you can use instead of Hulens and Rujago is you can use one of the legendary that you can obtain from the time limited event that happened previously. It is Godfery. He has the unhealable ability on his special ability here, Cacophony. Deals 100% damage to an enemy and applies the unhealable to the target for 2 turns and also adds silence to the target for 1 turn. And the best part is his ultimate ability here. He can transfer the boss positive effect to all of your allies, which makes them even tankier. And this one will make your team super tanky, but the time it takes will be slower, around about 30 seconds slower. But it's very, very reliable. So let me skip the formation. Let's fight. And this time instead of Rujago, let me show you Godfery instead of Hulens and Rujago here. So let's click battle. And Godfery is also quite fast, around about 150 speed. Okay. So I did not disable Godfery's ability because his unhealable is on the special ability. So that is his special ability that applies the unhealable and the silence. Alright, we are on the boss stage. Just target the boss. Okay, Godfery, I think his speed is in between the Tideguard and Boss. So whenever the boss applies buff on herself, Godfery will try to disable her skills, but unfortunately it does not apply to boss. But he's able to steal the buff. He's able to steal the buff from the boss. This is this one. What's this buff called? This one. Critical resistance up. So now he applies the unhealable that prevents the right target from healing the boss. It's quite funny that it can steal the buff. Another good thing is Godfery can apply this defense down so that your heroes can deal more damage to her. So now the boss has additional buff here. It steals the buff, defense up. So now my heroes have this critical resistance and defense up buff, making them even more tankier than before. And if the boss applies the same buff again, either defense up buff or critical resistance up, then Godfery will be able to steal it again and increase the number of stack here. I think after the boss turn, Godfery will steal the buff. Oh, not yet. Its ultimate ability is not yet recharged. So it steals, now it gets like 3 critical resistance up now. But it doesn't really help because most of the enemies here doesn't perform critical rate attacks. Yes. So the run is now, I think, will be completed in 12 rounds or 11 rounds. Let me just quickly see the buff, what they have. Critical resistance up and defense up, max 3 stacks. And there you have it, the boss is down. Super tanky team. So the run took around about 3 minutes and 28 seconds. And without all those pauses, I think it'll be around about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I showcased 3 heroes that you can use for Queen of Tides in exchange for Hulens, Rujago, and Godfery that you can swap out between this team. So Zatlux is a must, or you can use a strong hero like Evera. Not sure I tried Evera before, but my Evera is built quite fast, so this one will not work. Because my Evera is much more faster than Hakrin. And basically, these are the key ingredients: Zatlux, Santis, and Hakrin. And you can swap out the unhealable hero for like Godfery, Hulens, and Rujago. The spells still remain the same: Gaia's Renewal and Water Prison. So I hope you guys learn something out of this video to form your speed farming team for Queen of Tides stage 12. You can also use this team composition for the earlier stages like stage 10 and 11 to speed farm these dungeons. But the requirement for this team is quite high because you need 3 heroes in revival set, and to reach that stage you need to farm like stage 10 and stage 11 first to get sufficient revival sets to make this thing happen. If you found this video helpful, click the like button, and if you have not subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video on this channel. You can also support me on my Patreon site at patreon.com/Ayumilove to sponsor me there. And also you can get more information from my website at ayumilove.net, where I post a lot of information regarding this Awaken Chaos era. So if you're a new player who are just starting out and not sure where to and on how to get started, I've listed a step-by-step guide on what to do when you first started with your new account. I've also covered what legendary heroes that you choose for your rookie summon. If you have any questions regarding on this team composition, you can post a comment below. So I'll take a look and answer them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching and have a nice weekend. Bye.